Good evening. Good evening. Guess who's back in town? Big Daddy's back, and it's wonderful to be here on the Disc Jockey News Network. Thank you, John, so much for having us again. This time around, the Big Daddy Show is going to be about stories. It's going to be about personal stories, how people have dealt with them in our business. Maybe not just DJs and stuff like that, but a little bit of here, there, and everywhere. And my first guest this week, I am so honored to have this young man on with me. And we've been together through a lot. He's been through a lot. He is a cancer survivor. He is a 8-year anniversary of stem cell. He is now a firefighter at Vineland Fire Department. And he is an event host at SCE Event Group out of Jersey. It is my honor to introduce to you the one, the only, Seth Velez. Seth, how are you, baby?
I'm good, man. You're making me blush.
That's okay. So, my friend, tell us a little bit about who you are, first of all, and your story. A little bit about your story, your personal story first.
Okay. So I'm Seth Velez, aka DJ Seth V. I work for the SCE event group based out of New Jersey. Shout out to SCE. What up? My personal journey. So I've been a DJ for 16 years, and in the middle of my career, I had a bit of a setback. I got diagnosed with cancer, a really rare type of lymphoma. So I'm actually one of 37 people in the entire world to ever get diagnosed, and I'm only part of a handful of people that have actually survived. Um, so I dealt with that. But one thing I learned from that was you always come out the other end okay. You just got to try. But so I'm a cancer surviving DJ. I've been a firefighter for, another 16 years, maybe a little longer than that. Um, yeah, personally, it's just been through a lot and I do a lot of things. And I'm just happy to be here.
And you have your own YouTube channel, am I correct?
I do. So you can find me at YouTube at DJ Tech Tips. It's all about helping pretty much anybody, whether you're a beginner DJ, an intermediate DJ, or an advanced veteran professional. I do videos on the technology that we use as DJs, and I give really honest reviews and opinions. I'm platform agnostic, which means that I'm not one of those people that subscribes to the if you don't use this piece of gear, you're not a professional. So I try to be very open and unbiased and really give a genuine opinion on things that I think are worth it for DJs to either invest in or to invest their time in to learn.
You know what? And I've been watching you. So we were friends before you got sick. I
Yes.
watched you, watched you perform everything else. And through all of the treatments and everything that you went through, tell these folks what went through your head.
Oh man.
I know it's a tough question, but what made you as strong as you were to come out on the other end going, I beat this bad boy?
So, I mean, when you get diagnosed with cancer, you kind of hits you like a bag of bricks. um, you don't really know what to do. You don't really know what to handle it. I was very fortunate in the fact that I had a really good support system. I had my family, I had the fire department, and then of course I had my DJ family, which at the time was BME Event Group. And it was, I don't want to say really easy for me to be optimistic,
Mm-hmm.
but I had a lot of people rooting for me, which really helped.
Heck yeah.
Um, yeah, the support. I mean, it was really a lot of support. The community came together, the town I live in, Vineland, New Jersey, a lot of people had my back, and it was easier for me to be optimistic. Even though I was going through the worst experience of my entire life. I mean, chemotherapy sucks, radiation sucks, stem cell
Been there.
transplants are no fun. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know exactly what I'm talking about. Going through my mind, it was just like there were things I hadn't done yet, and I wanted to focus on, okay, like this sucks and I don't like it, but if I get through this, I get a new lease on life. And I guess that was the biggest thing, like when I look back on cancer, I used to look at it as a why me or how come I had to get it. And I was really upset for a long time. Mentally it drug me down even after surviving it. And Big Daddy, I'm
Oh
sure,
yeah.
like you always ask the questions, like why? Like why did I have to get it?
You wake up every day thinking it's going to come back too.
Absolutely. That fear never goes away. And I decided to stop looking at it from that point of view
Hmm.
and look at it as like, man, what a blessing. Because before I got cancer, I was actually going to retire from DJing.
And concentrate on your firefighting and
I
all
was
the
going to
rest
concentrate
that
on being
went.
a fireman and I had got so I've only been a career firefighter for 10 years. I was a volunteer before that.
And you've been married. You're married,
I have a fiance.
fiance.
Yeah,
Okay,
don't wish that evil on me too soon. Don't wish it too soon.
perfect. But you know what? That and as you're talking, listening to what you're saying. For me, also, and I know you too because we talked a lot
Yes.
while you were and it's what we all do for each other. That's the one thing that people got to understand. We are family. Seth is my family, as are all the rest of these folks that are going through that right now, whatever the case may be. And you got to have a light at the end of the tunnel. And your light at the end of the tunnel was
Believe it or not, the thing I missed the most was DJing. And it's crazy to think that like I almost gave it up. So when I think of cancer now, I think of it as like my saving grace because had I not gotten cancer, I would have retired from DJing and I would have never gotten to experience any of the things that I've gotten to experience in, the last 8 years,
8 years.
realistically. Um, I've been afforded some really cool opportunities and have gotten the opportunity to do really cool things. And, if it wasn't for cancer, I would have never had a shot to do any of it. So as much as it sucked, because Big Daddy, it sucked.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, like it was a nice reset, if that
It
makes sense.
it was a challenge. It was a challenge, and I'm down,
Yeah.
but I'm not out.
Yes.
And now, after all that you have been through, listening to this and watching your everything that you're doing, and I am so proud of you. You have no idea how
Oh,
proud
thank
I
you.
am of everything you're doing, your YouTube channel, all the stuff you're doing with SCE, the spreading of. I watch your videos. At the end of the day, all you can do, as Tim McGraw said, live like you were dying because you never know if tomorrow's the day. And that was a challenge. So with that, and you said you weren't going to, you were going to retire from DJing and stuff. What, when you finally made that decision to go back into DJing, what made you turn that right turn? Was it, the left turn, if you will, if to make that turn instead of just doing a fireman and everything else you were doing? What made you decide that yes, this is what I really want to do?
So when I got sick, it wasn't like I got diagnosed with cancer and then we planned out chemotherapy and things went slow. It was, hey, we did a PET scan. You're, pardon my French, fucked. We need to
Mm-hmm.
get you into a hospital right now. So I
And
never even got an opportunity to like soak it in.
yep, yep.
And when I got into the hospital, obviously the events that I had on the books, I had to get coverage for, and it wasn't like a transition out, like I just stopped and I missed it. In the hospital, actually did a Facebook live stream, a DJ set from the hospital.
I like it.
I haven't recorded, like I actually saved the video because and I watch it every now and again just as a reminder. But I was just in the hospital and I just missed it. There's something about being a DJ, and it because you're a DJ. Like,
Yeah, but you're not just a DJ, my friend. You're an entertainer because it's not just
yes,
about the buttons. It's not about the lights. It's about the experience.
curating the experiences is what it's all about. And
Yes. Go
I
ahead.
missed that. I missed working with my clients. I missed being in the hectic world that is DJing, because you know that as a professional DJ in this industry, you get pulled a million different ways every day.
Right.
You're always responding to somebody, you're thinking of the next thing to do, you're thinking of ways to push your brand forward. And I just, I really missed all of that. Not to say I didn't miss the fire department, because I
Of
did miss
course.
that too, but it was just something, it felt like something was missing from my life, you know?
And the
Like,
thing is, you're on one hand, you're saving people's lives. On the other hand, the other part of your life, after everything that you went through, being in the hospital, everything else, it's a different way of saving lives. You're sharing love, you're spreading what's coming out of your heart, because as we all know, if there's no them, there is no us. And right
yes.
now, my brother, you are doing it, you're doing it right. What um what made you now you were with Bobby Morgan? Bob
Yeah,
Morgan?
I was with Bob Morgan for a while. Yep.
Okay. Good man. Good man. What made you decide to go to Jason?
So Jason actually, I hate to
Approached
say
you.
took a risk. No, he didn't approach me.
Oh,
So Nick had transitioned to SCE and we was there for a little bit. And Jason was looking to bring another person on. So Nick, shout outs to Nick Spinelli. Without Nick Spinelli, I wouldn't be part of SCE. And shout outs to Jason J and I, because he took a shot in the dark with me, man. He didn't know who I was. I wasn't even a blip on his radar. Nick just recommended me, and I had the opportunity to interview with him, and he wound up bringing me on. And the reason why I decided to make that transition from BME to SCE was SCE does really cool things. Like SCE is the brand. Like, we are a leader in the DJ industry, and I wanted to be a part of this big thing that was SCE Event Group. And shout outs to Jason J and I, man, because he didn't even know me and he gave me a shot. He took a shot in the dark with me, and luckily for everybody, it worked out. But I'm forever grateful, man. He gave me a shot, and I'll never, ever, ever forget that. To
that
bring me on to do something important, not
that's
important, but different.
yeah, that's the key. You know, and you're in the hospital. What's going through your mind once they tell you you need stem cell? What is it? Was that like one of those OMG, where am I going from here?
No, the OMG hit me when I first got diagnosed, because the doctor literally came to my bedside and said, "Hey, I don't know if you have your affairs in order, but you have like a 5% chance to make it through this." I was stage 4. I was, you know, by by all real accounts, like I shouldn't be here, but I am. Um,
Amen.
so when the stem cell transplant came, it was just like, okay, that's just one more step of something I have to do to get better. Because by that point, I already gotten the bad news. It was
Right.
already, it was already doom and gloom. So when it was a stem cell transplant, it was just like, okay, I just got to get this done. I just have
Now,
to do this.
now, are you on medication every day? Are you taking
Oh yeah,
whatever? Yeah, I figured.
lifelong side effects from chemotherapy and the stem cell transplant, and I'm on a whole host of meds that I take every day. But the flip side to that coin is I'm not here.
You're here and you're making an impact. And what's your favorite event to do? I know you
Weddings.
because you're doing the cool stuff in New York City for Saturday Night Live. I would love to join you for one of those shows. That would be
Hey,
absolutely hysterical.
come with me, man.
Absolutely. But what now? Where to next? You've got your wedding DJ stuff. You're doing everything with SCE. You're a fireman, everything else. What's the next 5 years look like for you in your head, in your heart?
In my head and in my heart, the next 5 years is me transitioning to full-time DJ.
Okay.
Um, I realized that, you know, I love weddings. Weddings are my favorite. That's my
Mm-hmm.
bread and butter. That's what I do. 98% of my bookings are weddings. There's the other 2%, which is like SNL or like, I've done stuff for the Eagles autism awareness events, like things like that. But weddings are my happy place. And not that I'm not happy being a fireman because I
Oh,
am,
mhm.
but it's a different type of joy as a DJ. Like there's a feeling you can't replicate when you're in command of 150, 200 people. They're having the time of their life and like you're curating that experience. Like you're making somebody's day and you're giving their guests an experience that hopefully they don't get to experience again unless it's with you.
Correct. I like that.
And yeah, and there's a high that comes with that, Big Daddy. There's a buzz, there's a serotonin dump that just I can't explain it. I don't know how to put it into words like the way I feel when I have people just and having the time of their life in front of me, and it's because of what I'm doing. Like
You
you
know
just can't.
what? Listen. I know what you're feeling because I feel it every time I walk through that door. And you give them everything you have. You give them your knowledge. You give them this and everything else. But at the end of the day, it's all about them.
Yeah,
And
I'm
this
a
is
huge. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead. No, no, no. Go, 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 go.
I don't know, I say I'm a huge proponent of like I'm not an egotistical DJ. Like there's some guys out there they're like I won't play that song at a wedding or I wouldn't do any of this stuff. And it's like, dude, at the end of the day, it's not your show.
Right.
It's
Hey,
not your
listen,
event.
Nick Spinelli still plays the YMCA. I love him for that. You
Yeah.
know, these guys, I won't do this, I won't do that. And you know what? 2020 made our industry, I don't know, maybe a little more divisive. I won't go out for this, I won't go out for that. My friends out there, listen to this kid. My man has got it. And I'm going to ask a dumb I don't know if it's a dumb question. If you didn't if you didn't get sick, okay? Put your brain in A plus. If you did not get sick, would you have still taken that turn to start DJing more and more and with a different company?
No, I would not. And that's the
Okay.
craziest thing to think about is like there was a time where I almost gave this up. Like,
And the the challenge itself of getting through the cancer and all the treatments and everything you still have to go through, the medications we still have to take and everything else. Why do you think that you would have given this up had you not, please forgive me, gotten sick?
so when I got sick, it was literally the year anniversary of me getting hired at the fire department. So I had been there for a year and I was doing you know, working on the weekends. I was a daytime employee at the fire department at the time. And when
Mm-hmm.
I hit my year mark, they finally put me on a shift, which is a 24-hour rotation. And I was like, you know what? It's a lot to work 24 hours, then go to a wedding. And I'm like, I should really pick one. And at the time, because it was a stable career, um, I chose the fire department. And I was going to give myself a year or two, like I was going to bow out gracefully and just finish my events and
Mm-hmm.
do another year or so and then be done. But then I got sick and it stopped me from being a DJ early, right? Which at the time I'm like, okay, no big deal. Like I was going to retire and I'll just let its course run. I will get sick and I'll make it through this and I'll just keep on trucking the way I was going. But then I missed it. I didn't realize how much I would miss doing this until I couldn't do it anymore. And then
Challenge accepted.
exactly, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, man, like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm never going to get to DJ again. I'm never going to get to fight fire again. I'm never going to get to do anything again. And then I'm just sitting there in my thoughts because, when you're in the hospital or you're home resting from chemo, like you're in your head all day long.
And night
and
long too, and all night long too.
all night long, all
That's
day.
even
Like,
worse.
yeah, it never stops. So, I had a lot of time to really think and realize what I did miss and what I didn't miss, and what parts of my old life I wanted to leave behind, and what parts of my new life that I wanted to flourish with, if that makes sense.
It really does, babe. And you know what? Again, as I said in the beginning, I am honored. I am not only honored to have you on the show, but I am honored to call you family, friend for life.
Oh, I love you, Big Daddy. Thank
Uh,
you.
and how do you? We got a couple minutes left. How do they get in touch with you? Because I want everybody, whoever's listening, whoever sees this down the line, please be in touch with this young man. This young man has been through hell and back, and here we are, and he's got that big old smile on his face, and inspirational, awe-inspiring, his whole story, and follow him. How do we get in touch? How do they get in touch with you? How do they, view you and everything else, baby?
So you can catch me on all social media at DJ Seth V. That's V as in Victor. You can find me on YouTube at DJ Tech Tips. So if you haven't gotten a chance to check that out, DJs, give it a look. I got some good stuff on there. And yeah, it's really it. Socials are DJ Seth V and YouTube is DJ Tech Tips.
Awesome. Well, my friends, we are at the end. And again, we will see you all next week. But Seth, I can't tell you, folks, you're lucky out there because you can't see me crying behind these glasses. Your story for the rest of my life, however long I have. And as Billy Joel said it best, only the good die young. I'm haunting your behind. I'm about 400. Be inspired by this young man. Be inspired by his story. Be inspired by the challenges. Think about your life. Think about what you're doing right now. What can you do to change your life, either to make it better or to make yourself better, whatever it is? Fighting through it. And he's 8-year survivor of stem cell. He's here with us, and his clients are so blessed to have him, and his family and all of his friends. And Jason Jani, thank you for giving this young man a chance. Nick Spinelli and all the rest of the guys at SCE, and one more guy. John Young, thank you so much for letting me do this and having some of the most amazing people in the business. And tonight we start a new one. Next week, we have another SCE, folks. Seth and my family, Kevin Garrity and Teddy Price. We're going to hear a big story about those two. But again, thank you all so very much. You guys have a great rest of your night. Seth,
can I get one more word in real quick?
Oh, you can get 10 words. Do it.
Okay. So for everybody watching, it's never too late. Keep that in mind. No matter what you want to do in life, no matter what you aspire to do, it's never, ever too late. Don't give up on your dreams, and don't rush into something that you think is your dream. Think things out. Realize what you love and invest a ton of energy into what you love, and I promise you, it will come back tenfold. As long as you're authentic and you're true to yourself, just invest the time into whatever it is you love, and I promise you, you're going to come out better for that.
Seth, that's all we needed. We could have done the whole show about that. That was awesome. I thank you, my friend, for everybody listening and watching. Superhero, Superman, and a wonderful
Thank you,
man.
Big Daddy.
My friends, we'll see you next week. Kevin Garrity, Teddy Price, Seth Velez, you are a rock star. John Young, we got Ben Stone next, and you got to listen to Ben. Seth, love you, my brother.
Love you, Big Daddy. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
You got it, baby. Thank you so much.
All right, you have a great